We're in mid-July now, and it's time for another gardening update. Things are kind of starting to look like a jungle out here again. We've got the volunteer potatoes down on this end with some F1 and F2 peppers. Let's go over here to the China Jade cucumber. It's just been crazy productive. Look at all the cucumbers there. And we picked, I think, 7 yesterday, really nice ones. There's one that's about ready to pick now. It just got cucumbers all over it, and this is just one cage. We also have cucumbers in a couple other spots. There's that sun gold cherry tomato. Then we have a eggplant down here I need to harvest. While we're over here, let's look at these peppers. And then we have the Seychelles pole beans, as tall as the fence. Starting to get, there's some probably ready to pick right now. Let me get over here where we can look at it. Yeah, we've got some that are ready to pick right now. And just look at all those blooms. It's just going to be crazy productive. Trellis has Japanese long cucumbers, and it hasn't been nearly as productive, but there's only a couple of vines over here, and it's got one that's getting close to being ready back there, I see. The long beans are at the top of their cage now. They're just now starting to get a few blooms and a few small beans. I've seen a couple that are starting to form. Here are a couple down here. Longer one there. So we'll be getting these about the time that the bush or the whole beans are getting in full swing. Let's get over here and look at this other cattle panel with the cucumbers on it. These are Market Moore 76 cucumbers. As you can see, they're at the top of the cattle panel, well over taller than the fence. And we've got lots of little ones. And we've also been picking quite a few off of this one. But there are lots more to come. Let's take a look at these tomatoes now. This is the Bundaberg Rumball. It's starting to get pretty hot again. It's going to be, we got a couple of hot days this week, and next week we're going to be back up into triple digits. I just now noticed there's a couple down at the bottom of the Bundaberg Rumball that are getting ripe. And we have Rosella Purple here. We've got quite a few down at the bottom, and there's some back in the foliage that you can't see. And then we have over here, we have the Baronia. Let me see, there, yeah, there's some tomatoes in there at the bottom and towards the top. And there's the Tasmanian Chocolate. I've already picked one off of that, and looks like we got a couple more ripening. And let's get over where we can see this one a little better. Whoops. There. You can see there's quite a few tomatoes on it, as well as the ones down at the bottom. Here's the Belgium Giant. It's got a couple of really big ones down at the bottom, and there's a couple of more up higher on the plant. I'm not sure if there are any way up towards the top. I'll have to give it a better look one of these days. And while I'm out here looking, while you're out looking at the garden, it's a good idea to look around for insects, and it looks like we have some aphids on that cucumber. So I'll keep a close eye on that. Here's that hanging 5-gallon grow bag with the Shimo Furry tomato in it. And it's got a couple that are ready to pick right now, and some starting to get ripe. It's loaded with tomatoes. These stackable pots have some peppers in them, some of my projects. These don't get very tall, so there should be plenty of room for them, I think. Got some late dill coming up over here. This straw bale has Korean gold sweet potatoes in it, and it's off to a really slow start. Here's the other stackable pots. They have moss rose in it. It's not in bloom yet. It's still pretty early in the day. I'm on the back side of this straw bale so we can see some of the tomatoes. This one is Geranium Kiss, and as you can see, it's got lots of tomatoes on it. And more up towards the top also. And we have over here in the middle, we've got another Shimo Furry that's getting quite a few ripe ones. Then on the other end, we have another Geranium Kiss. We've gotten quite a few beans off the bush beans, but they're just about ready to pull now. I'll be planting something else in those grow bags soon. Here's that Shimo Furry that's in the hollow log. Like the other ones, it's loaded with tomatoes. We picked probably, I'm guessing, 8 or 10 off of this one already. And there's quite a few left to pick. This Bundaberg Rumball doesn't have as many tomatoes on it as the other one. There are some that you can't see down there though. But if I was going to save seeds on one of the two plants, it would be the other one because it's got more tomatoes. The Purple Rain tomatoes are starting to get ripe now. I picked a couple already, and we've got a few more that are going to be ready to pick soon. And there are even a few smaller ones up towards the top of the plant, so we'll have some later. The Sleeping Lady has quite a few tomatoes on it, but we haven't got any ripe ones yet. It's got even a couple of smaller ones. And it's probably about 4 feet tall. We've got a couple of Mexican sunflowers back here by the fence. And the monarchs will be appreciating those later in the year when they come through. But they haven't started to bloom yet. I let a couple of garlic go back here by the fence so you can see what those look like when you don't harvest those scapes and don't harvest the garlic. I'm going to just leave these in the ground. And I might plant some of these later on. I'm back here by the corn now so you can see what it looks like. Some of that corn is probably, if you include the tassels, close to 8 feet tall. I'm 6 feet tall, 6'2", and I have to look up to see the top of them. We're getting quite a few ears. I'm looking forward to seeing how these look later on. Back when we had radishes between the corn rows, I let a couple of them grow instead of harvesting them all, so we could get some of these radish seed pods. These are good to eat. They've just got a hint of spice. They go really well in the salad. I've got a couple of basil growing back here. Then we have an Aconcagua pepper. We have a ají cachucha. Then that's a very late addition. It's a Sugar Rush stripey. There's a nice dark one. It's got some interesting looking foliage. There's a mutant over there. This is a habanada. That's a bingo pink phenotype. And let's take a look at these peppers on this orange ripple. If I can get back here and not break anything. Look at that. It's just loaded with peppers, and a few of them are getting some decent tails on them. I planted some experimental lake corn, and it's probably a little over waist high now. I have a row of zinnias that are growing over here next to the carrots. And they're just now starting to form flower heads, or flower buds. So it won't be long we'll get to enjoy some of the zinnias. Even though it seems like we've looked at a lot of stuff, there's still a lot of stuff left. So look for part 2 tomorrow morning. If you're just finding this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And don't forget to like and share. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.